And so what is one of the things they came up with? East Coast versus West Coast. Let me tell you about that. As someone who lived during that time. During that time, there was no East Coast and West Coast. You know what brought that on? It was rap music that brought that on. Black folks during that era, we weren't thinking ill of the people that lived on the West Coast or vice versa. Now, these areas had their own gangs, they had their own situations, they had their own problems and all that stuff, but it was mainly focused on what's going on in the region. Nobody would think about California. California wasn't thinking about us. But it didn't become an issue until they started pushing these artists to start making it into one. It's the whole divide and conquer thing. It's the whole divide and conquer. It's the same thing over, and they do this all the time. And they did that because it pushed sales. It pushed sales. And these individuals, they are the same merchants. They're the same merchants today that they were back then. See, many people, you think that those plantations that they owned and controlled back then, you think, oh, it's all gone, that's all history. No, you're just on a bigger plantation, okay? But yeah, and so no, that was not an issue. That was never an issue until hip hop, they started pushing and promoting these artists to start pushing this stuff. And then all of a sudden you get Death Row Records and all this stuff where you just glorifying death all the time. And I'm going to cut this man's head off and I'm going to shoot him up and all that other stuff. It became something else. That was not black culture. That was not black culture at that time. I mean, we had our own issues and problems. Yes, we did. But it wasn't that bad. It was their influence in our genre, hip hop. They started pushing this stuff for sales.